Welcome to the Explosive Strength Podcast with Jerry Bigney. In this episode, we're going to go over how our deload week, how our testing week is set up. I had an email come in wanting to know about that. But before we get started on that, I want to emphasize the Explosive Mechanics YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe or have not subscribed, please go and do that. This week, we're going to start putting up videos on how we do our exercises. Like the other day at the gym, I was noticing this kid. He was doing his press downs, and the way he's doing his press downs is his press down, his elbows were kind of flaring out. But then if you watch him bench, his elbows were tracking in the exact same manner. And so I've seen a lot of kids at the gym. I've heard people, Jared, I was trying to figure out why the press downs were not transferred over to their bench. When I took my press downs from doing reps at 130 pounds to 150 pounds, I went from a 365 incline to a 405 incline. Bench max. But the way I do my press downs is I really focus on the medial head development. And if you're watching people do, I was watching this bodybuilder, and as they're pressing down with a bar or a rope, if their thumbs under their handle, it's going to focus more on the lateral head of the tricep. And if you focus more on the lateral head, that's going to be the nice, beautiful showy muscle that kind of shows when you see on YouTube right here. That's going to be the outer muscle. But the medial head, like I spoke on the 5 things you need to know about the bench press, the medial head's the workhorse of the tricep. So I've done dips with 5 plates. And if you look at the medial head, when I perform the dips, you'll be able to see that it's much more developed than when I tore my tricep. My arm went back, and that's where I felt the pressure come off is after I tore that medial head. It was so inflamed for so long, actually when I tore it was actually pressure released off. So we're going to demonstrate that probably tomorrow on how we actually do our tricep press downs, so that if you're getting stuck in your bench and you're having bench press issues, hopefully that video will help you. We're also going to demonstrate how we may tricep, do our different tricep exercises. I'm also going to do a video this week on why I like Eleiko plates and Eleiko equipment. So, like I said, if you don't subscribe, please do. The Explosive Mechanics YouTube, just type Explosive Mechanics YouTube, and it's going to be my main channel. You'll see all the podcast videos. You'll see some of the kids lifting. Colton doing 405 as a high school junior at about 195 pounds, somewhere in that range. The thing about YouTube, and the other thing about that stuff is, before I get started with this question I got through email, is that I had a kid, Kyle, he benched 336 or somewhere around that realm at 151 body weight. He was 15 years old. The trolls on YouTube, I don't really answer their questions. It's like fake or whatever they say. I'm just like, geez, that's why I've not really pushed the YouTube in the past, because you get thumbs down on videos like that, when that was actually a USAPL IPF meet for a world record. And we were in St. Croix when that happened. 15-year-old 336 bench at 151 pounds. Very impressive. The main announcer for USAPL and the IPF was Gino, and Gino's the one announcing. So if you are a powerlifter or you lift with USAPL like we do, you'll recognize that that's Gino, and it's not a BS video. So I like sometimes when people call us out on that stuff, because if they want to drug test us, or if they want to say we're fake, they're jealous because they can't do the things that we can do. So anyway, again, click that Explosive Mechanics YouTube. Please share these podcasts. I have over 300 and some 5-star ratings on the podcast. So I really appreciate these questions that come in. And I hope that I'm doing my job in helping you people out there that take your time to listen to me talk. Hope that I'm helping you out. I get a lot of compliments. I'm going to do another podcast. I may do a daily podcast, because I'm going to try to keep this podcast fairly short, because everyone knows I get talking maybe an hour and a half by myself. So I'm just going to answer one question as question comes in, instead of saving the emails. And for those of you, I didn't get a response back from Brian here. But sometimes if you email me, I'll email you back, let you know that I'm going to do a podcast, or that I'm going to answer your question on a podcast episode. I may hold on to them for a little while. Instead of holding on to them, I'll respond to you, hey, I'm going to do a podcast on this. But check your junk mail, because sometimes my email goes to people's junk mail. Like I had this kid who was coming to the gym, I had to email his parents a waiver form so that he's 17. So if I email his parents the waiver form, they could fill it out, and he could bring it with him. That way the parents don't have to come to the gym. And I emailed the lady like 3 times, and she finally sent me a text message. Hey, Jared, I never got your waiver form. And I said, I'll try to send it again right now. And I checked with my sent things, and I already had sent it twice. So I said, check your junk mail. 3-4 minutes later, oh, I got it. Okay. And so I think for some reason, my stuff goes to people's spam folder a lot. So if you have not heard back from me and you sent me an email, check your spam. Could be in there. Or I have probably just not got back to your question for a while. So today's question comes from Brian. And he says, hey, Jared, hope you're doing well. You've spoken a lot on your podcast on the things required during the 3 weeks that you were building strength and explosiveness. Yes, we are building strength and explosiveness all the time. We're not just working on this phase of this strength or this phase of this explosiveness. We are building strength and explosiveness at the same time. I was hoping you could dive into your testing week. Are the kids continued with the preferred 6 weekly workouts, or are they resting a few days before the 40s? And what else are you testing that week? And are you lowering the volume and intensity to create super compensation? Thank you. Happy New Year, Brian. Brian, during testing week, we're trying to, for the people trying to get, I meant to jot this down, how many workouts we're trying to get before that 40-yard dash will show a positive result. And I don't have anything in front of me right here to calculate that. That's what I was trying to figure out, what I'm missing before I started this podcast. And that's the thing that I'm missing. So I like a minimum of 8 to 9 squat days before we test. And the people coming twice a week, they're not quite getting that 8-9 squat days in. If I would have had what I was specifically having, I'm looking for a specific number, and I may cover this on the next podcast if I can remember. We're looking to get at least 8, 9, maybe 10 squat days in before our test week. The more, and the whole thing about doing that is the kids that are only getting 4 or 5 squat days in, we'll see that the kids are actually who are squatting more per week are actually getting faster per month at a better rate. And so you'll see, hey, Jared, why didn't I get faster? Well, if you look at their folder, I track back the last 12 workouts in their folder. Well, in December, you only squatted 4 times. Of course, you're not going to get faster. It's only once a week. Well, I missed a week because of this or that. So they may have squatted twice the first week, twice the second week, and missed the third test, the fourth. And sometimes it's really annoying for me to test the kids that have not been there, but I do test them anyway, just to show them, hey, look, if you want to get better, if you want to get faster, if you want this 40-yard dash to get better, you're going to have to squat more often. And a lot of people will criticize us that we don't work on running form. We don't do running drills. We don't do speed drills. We don't do cone drills. We don't work on speed and agility. We don't work on people's thought process. You know, we are such a feeling-based freaking nation that people think they have to feel a certain way in order to get a certain result. That's not quite true. And so we don't do those speed drills. I am not trying to make you better at running the 40-yard dash. I'm trying to make you faster at running the 40-yard dash. It's a big difference between making you better and making you faster. Better is working on technique. Hey, let's work on our start. Hey, you know what? The people who want to work on their start, want to work on their technique, and just want to get better at running the 40-yard dash, so they don't want to squat. They're trying to get us squatting. How many gyms across this country do you have that it's easier to get a kid to do a speed drill than it is to squat? They don't quite understand it. Well, you got the people doing these facilities doing speed drills and focusing on speed. Hey, working on mechanics, working on how you feel, how the kid feels. Well, I feel faster. I know I'm faster because I feel better. I don't give a crap how you feel. The only thing that matters is if you test. Hey, man, I went there and you probably experienced this in high school college. I went there and aced that test. You came back. Oh, damn, I didn't do so well. You know, because it don't matter how you feel. It matters to what the end result is on that paper. And we're timing with a complete electronic timing system, hand censored. They used to use this same timing system in the NFL Combine years ago, I wanted to be precise. If I had kids getting ready to go to the NFL Combine, if I got kids getting ready for the College Pro Day, I wanted to be specific. I wanted to make sure that I was giving them true numbers. And a lot of times these people go on these speed places, they don't test a 40-yard dash. I had talking to a kid the other day. They went to this speed place close to their college, and they didn't test 40s, but they worked on getting out, starting, exploding off, running on the treadmill, whatever they were doing, working on 4 steps, working on this, working on, hey, we're working on, they incorporated sports skills into their thing. Hey, Jared, I said, did y'all test 40s? No, we weren't really there for that. If you're working on mechanics and you're working on your burst and you're working on these things, hey, places down the street, hey, they're working on wall drills. They're working on these specific knee angles. They're working on, hey, getting out on the start. They're working on getting better at it. They're working on trying to make the kid faster by doing a technical change. And you don't need to do that. The best thing to do is to increase the horsepower. If you can get them from a 5 flat to a 4.5, imagine what happens. Technique's a lot easier to get. You can get that in a relatively short period of time compared to the strength and power. It takes a lot longer to gain the strength and power needed to produce a certain amount of force. And so if I had a kid that went from a 5 flat to a 4.5, no technical change, no working on tens, no working on any type of running thing at all. And people were laughing at the way he ran. Well, he was fast as shit because he was faster at 40. He was not better at running the 40. So I try to get these kids to show if they can squat X number of times, it's going to equal a certain result in a 40-yard dash. Then we test our vertical jump. We test our broad jump. I used to test our shuttle drill. So I don't really test our strength that much because I'm paying attention to the numbers. I know where they are in their programming based off their strength. Hey, Jerry, when can we squat max? When can we squat max? Oh, I don't really care about how much they squat. I care about if we're spending time maxing, we're not really getting enough volume of work in order to produce the desired result at the end of each month. And I kind of toy with the issue and the notion, maybe I should squat. If their squat maxes are going up and they see that, maybe they'll squat more often for me. I don't really have a lot of issues with kids squatting. I will have showing up, but I think that's just being a kid and being inconsistent. So I do a very good job of getting off task and ranting. So I'm going to keep this podcast short like I promised everybody. The kids coming in the preferred 6 weekly workouts. Brian, during that last week of the month, the first 3, if I got a kid coming every day, I want him to squat 3, 6, 9. That way we got at least our 9 times. And so that 4th week coming up. So if we're looking in the last week of the month, Tuesday is our main 40-yard dash day. And when I'm there at the gym, so Tuesday's our last 40-yard dash day. If we're having to squat on Sunday, so like most of the time I'm open Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm closed on Fridays, so I'm open Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we will squat on Sundays and we'll come in and test on Tuesdays. And we don't do anything different. Like I gave a kid balls out hard as can be 5 sets of 5 on Sunday. Why would you do that? Why would you do that before we test and stuff like that? I want to see what happens. The whole thing about testing, all this is just a huge science experiment. I'm not backing off on your squat. If this is day 11 or 10 of your program, you're squatting this. I don't care if we're testing Tuesday. The whole point of testing Tuesday is see if what we're doing is working, and we'll see if it affects you. And so I don't back off on volume. Tuesday, after they run, if someone wants to squat, I give them a lighter weight from what I would normally program so that Tuesday, I just care about their running their 40-yard dash, their vertical jump, their broad jump primarily on that day. I don't care about letting them squat. If they want to go home, they go home. If they want to squat, by the time we run 3 40s, we'll typically run 3 40s. Sometimes I may let them run 4. Then we'll go jump, then we'll go broad jump. By the time you do that, your legs are actually pretty much toast. And so if a kid wants to squat, a kid that knows how important squatting is, I'll go let them squat, but we'll do like a 4 sets of 4 at a light load, probably keeping it in the 7s for the tendo. Sit down nice and easy, boom, explode up. And I will show on my YouTube how we actually squat. We sit for a second, then accelerate up. I don't like this touch and go stuff. And kind of what we're focusing on. And we're just moving the weight, we're bending, we're just doing the exercise without going for, it's lined up there getting the 7s. If they can produce an 8 with it, stay in the 7s. You know, if you get 9 with it, stay in the 7s. Do a light enough load to where you're firing, keeping the frequency up. And Thursday when we come in, if they broke their 40-yard dash times, Thursday's back, normal, balls to the wall, squat again. So they pretty much, for our deload week, is just get that one testing day off. Back in the day when I didn't have the laser system that I had, now I can time the 10, 20, and 40 at the same time. Years ago, I would do, depending on how the crowd or how many people you have, and based off your timing system. Years ago, we would, on Tuesdays, we would test the 20-yard dash and the broad jump. And then on Thursday of test week, we would test the 40-yard dash and the vertical jump. We always run before we do our verticals. For some reason, running or sprinting before you do your vertical jump potentiates a better vertical. So there could be some tricks out there for some of you. And also for test week, I don't like for the kids to do anything the day before. Like if they got PE, I tell them don't participate in PE. I tell them don't do anything on their legs. I said, try to stay off your legs the day before if you can. That's the only thing I pretty much try to eliminate. I had some kids in the past go out and come in, they're supposed to run a 4.8 and they run a 5.1 in the gym. I said, what the hell did you do? Well, I went out there and practiced my 40s. Geez, well, let's come back in Thursday and retest your 40. Oh, then he runs the 4.8. I've had girls do the same thing. They were supposed to be faster. Which I had soccer practice yesterday, Jared. I had lacrosse practice. And I just kind of dipped my head. It's like, I'm trying to prove something to you. I know I'm trying to work around their sport and their season. But what I have found out over time is that the people who participate in PE that day up, or they run a mile, and I don't know why these PE teachers have these kids running miles, I guess because half of them's lazy and out of shape, so punish them all. So I don't like for them to do anything the day before on their legs. If I was training for someone to get ready for the NFL Combine or their college pro day, I would probably pre-run them. If their pro day was on a Thursday, I would do maybe a 20, maybe 2 20s and a 40 on a Tuesday. I mean on that Monday, and that way they'd have Tuesday, Wednesday, and they would test that Thursday off. Years ago when I trained Zach Lasky, he went to the Rams. He stayed with the Rams for 3 years. His pro day was on a Thursday. Our last day was Monday, and I told him don't do anything. And he was the kind of kid that would just sit there and just try to work. No, you know, like if you sit around, you feel like you're doing nothing. Whatever that coach from Georgia Tech, lazy people feel like they do little things and expect greatness. Well, hard people work hard, work a lot, and are scared they're being lazy, or whatever that saying is. It's kind of like just calm down, trust the process. He went from 218 pounds to 235 pounds, I think, by his pro day, or 230, somewhere in that range. So his body weight went up. Some of the coaches didn't even think he was going to run what he did. And I said the biggest compliment you could have ever got is on Twitter when he finished his 40-yard dash. Someone goes, shit. I said, that's a compliment. They didn't believe you were that fast, and you showed them you got heavier and you got faster. A lot of times these people think, hey, working on speed runs, sometimes these places are over conditioning kids. Hey, if I get this kid to lose 10 pounds, I'll make him faster. No, you want heavier and you want faster. You don't want to take a kid that's 217, a running back, and make him go down to 207. They'll get killed in the league. So you're able to take a kid that weighed 217 to 235. He went from projected 4.740. He ran a 4.55 and a 4.5 flat. I got that video. I can post that on Instagram. But the thing is, we're getting heavier, we're getting faster, and I don't like for them to do a damn thing the day before. Now, if I was having a pro day or something like that, I'd give them additional 2 days off. And the reason I would say I'd sprint them on that Monday, and if they had that Thursday to test for the pro day or their combine or whatever they're doing, is for a lot of the kids in the past. If they have a crappy 40-yard dash time on Tuesday, and we're having a kid trying to go from a 5 flat to a 4.9 or something like that, or like those kids that one kid that ran a 5.1 came back Thursday and then he ran a 4.8. Don't do anything the day before. And a lot of times what I've seen in the past, and it's just me seeing it for testing 40, I test 40s. I test a full 40-yard dash every month, and I have been for the last 11, 12 years. So no one has tested more 40-yard dashes than me. I test every month, and I test them myself in the inside facility. We're not going out track doing this. So they don't even test that at college. These people train for these pro days and these combines, they don't even test them. They don't even know where they should be broken down in the L drill, the pro shuttle, or wherever else in these different phases in order before they need to move on to the next phase. And I've seen on TV, these guys running in the hallway the night before their big day in the NFL combine. How stupid is that? That tells me that the people training these people, whether you're a big time NFL training place or whatever you're doing, you're showing me that you don't test them because you don't know. You're trying to make them feel, you're trying to prime them up. Well, if you would test them, you would know factual information. You know, a lot of times people that have these speed training facilities, they're wanting people to feel they're better. They're wanting to make them feel that they're faster. They want to make them feel that they're looser. They want to make them, show them that they're more flexible. Why not show them a result? You're trying to sell a belief instead of hard factual information. I believe I'm faster. I don't give if you believe you're fast or not. Why don't you go out there and test? Like this kid at the gym, he plays football out of college. Jared, I heard you talk about me on one of them. This is another kid. He felt faster. He went from a 4.8 to a 5 flat. I don't give a shit if you feel fast or not, but my numbers are not in line. And if you're getting ready for the NFL, if you're getting ready for college, if you're getting ready to go to your showcase, whatever you're getting ready for, you better know where you're at. Because your feelings ain't going to get you on the field. You feel good, you run a bad time, you are done. So we don't do anything, Brian. For our testing week, we'll test Tuesday. We bench Monday. We bench Monday like normal. If that kid's got a heavy bench day Monday, we're going at it. And you got to think about this. I'm dealing primarily most of the year with high school athletes. My college kids will come back and they'll, like I got 2 college linebackers in the gym now. Their bench press strength goes up just boom, boom, boom. Damn, Jared, you can really drive the strength up. I am a strength expert. I can drive up strength faster than anybody else. I like to compete with people. So if somebody wants a challenge, let's go. You know, it's friendly challenge. Hey, let's see who can get these kids from this point to this point. And a lot of times my ability to get someone stronger is based off their frequency to the gym and how long they stick with me. I had a kid incline his bench max, when he started he inclined his bench max for 6 reps the other day. So a lot of these kids at these high schools or whatever, they're not even inclining. So if you can incline your old bench max for 6 reps, that's a hell of a strength increase. I think he started off at a 135, now he's a 185 bench. Now he's repping his 135 on incline for 6 reps. As an 8th grader, I'm trying to make some strong freaks. But what the kids have learned is, he's been there, he's gotten almost a half second faster his 40-yard dash without doing any freaking running. So let's make sure I get this Brian thing covered, because I didn't want to go as long as I have, because I get on these little rants. I'm gonna do another podcast. I got somebody who sent me another question. I got an email pulled up here. Let's see. Joey Fredrickson. Yours is going to be answered tomorrow. So anyway, let's make sure I got this. Kids continue with preferred 6 weekly workouts. Brian, if they break their time on Tuesday 40, I don't want to retest them, because I don't want to retest them on Thursday. Because I'd rather them squat and keep continuing to get those workouts out of the way. I don't lower the only day I would lower the volume and intensity would be if they wanted to squat on squat day. But besides that, test week is just normal test week. I thought about with my 9, 10, 11-year-olds, bench maxing them. Maybe up to 13-year-olds just to give them a feel. But sometimes when you bench max a kid, you interrupt the process of them. Instead of going up 15 pounds, they may go up 5 pounds, which I have a hard time with a 5-pound increase because I want more. But if they think 5 pounds is good, I guess 5 pounds is good. I want them to see bigger change. I don't want them to see 5 pounds. Because if we're benching every 3 weeks, we're testing, and I try to go up 10 pounds a month on someone's bench, and we spend a workout or so testing per month, I'm just cutting out days that we could actually be working, increasing our volume in order to increase our strength at a quicker rate of speed, so to speak. So, are they resting a few days before their 40s? No, just the day before. We're mainly testing our 40s. And I test the 10-yard dash, the 20-yard dash, the 40. That's how the lasers are set up. And I look at them. Sometimes you've heard me on other podcasts, the 10 maybe fast, the 20 maybe jacked up, and the 40. So just because some of these kids are having good 10s, I don't like working on the start for that. Only time I'd pretty much work on a start is to get a kid to where he can hold his hand down just a second longer, or not a second, it wouldn't be that much, but maybe a tenth of a second longer if he's getting ready for an NFL showcase or an NFL combine or something like that. I would work on. The only reason we need to work on our start is to work on holding that hand down for just a little bit longer period of time so that I can maybe beat the laser system maybe by a tenth of a second or half a tenth of a second. The difference between half tenth of a second could be a 4.62 versus a 4.57.05, and that could be critical for them at that level. But for a high school kid, no, just let them freaking run. I don't work on the start, I don't work on holding the hand, I don't work on any of that stuff. I just want them to get better at it. I just want them to get faster at it. Not better at it. I want them to get faster at it. So we'll test 10, 20, 40 for our speed. We'll test our vert. We go from there. So if you want to know how it's set up, we come in Tuesday. First thing we do Tuesday is I take them through a dynamic warm-up. We'll jog down, we'll jog back. Next thing, we come back, we do a knee over the toe lunge for about 10 yards. We high knee skip to the end. Once we get to the end, we do knee hugs, walking knee hugs for about 10 yards. Then for the rest of the way, from 20, for the next 20 yards, we're doing walking leg swings, Frankensteins, or whatever people want to call them. Then after that, we may do some groiners. Then we'll jog 10, sprint 10, jog 10. Then we'll do the same. Then we'll do like a pop-up start, like so with your mountain climbers. Boom, jump up, full speed 10-yard start, then jog the rest of the 20 yards out. Then I'll give them 4 or 5 minutes to do any extra things they want, to switch shoes, put on cleats, get some water, and then we line up. Then we run a 40-yard dash. We'll run 140, and typically what I've seen in the past, their first 40 is not the greatest. It's kind of like if you're an experienced lifter, your first set of your working sets may not be your greatest set. Sometimes it's your second. And so for that, it's when we do our first 40, our second 40 is generally the best. And sometimes when we do 3, that 3 is in the middle of 1 and 2. And so if a kid feels froggy and one another, hey, if you run more than 3, you're going to hurt your vertical jump results. Usually I've seen that. So usually I like about 3 because the first one is generally not the best. The second one's the best. And then the third one's in between the first 2. So if you had a kid getting ready to go to a college thing or whatever, if they could run a full speed 20, 25-yard sprint, rest about 5 minutes if that's possible. Then if they wanted to go run a 40-yard dash, whether they're at an opening or some type of football showcase or whatever, if they can do a full speed, rest about 5 minutes, then get in line or position themselves to where they can do that. That way they're going to run their best one on the first one, and that third one which would be almost, the first one's on a full 40 because they're off to the side doing something. But it may be enough to give them that first run, their best one, and that second run, that they're fully doing for a time would be close to the second one. But if you just let them without warming up like that, if they just ran their first one, that time would be worse than the third one. You see what I'm saying? So if that third one's worse than the first one, it may not look good on the paper. So I would run the second one. I would want my first run to be like technically like my second run without it being timed, without my first run being timed. So I'd kind of go off the side, like I said, run 25 yards full speed sprint, get line position to where I'm about 4 or 5 minutes out. Boom, run my first one, come back, rest, run my third one, or my second one, however, I don't want to get confused with, but hopefully y'all can get what I'm saying. And that way you'll have the best times, because generally when I tested at the gym, the first one's the worst one, the second one's the best, and the third one's in between the first two. So, but now let's get this out of the way. If a kid is out of shape, and not conditioned, their first one's their best one, their second one's worse, the third one's just dramatically worse. So that means they can't handle that volume of running, and it's only 3 40-yard dashes. They're out of shape. So if you're testing kids and you see that they are running the first one, the best one, the second one, the third one, and they're just going downhill like that, they're out of shape. Or they're not conditioned to sprint at high speeds like that. So test our 3 40-yard dashes, then we go over to the vertical jump mats. We'll sit there and I want them to jump. I don't give them 2 jumps. I'm trying to get the best number possible for that month. I'm not giving them 2 jumps. Oh, that's your best, move on. A lot of people will just, hey, they don't have time. I got all kind of time in the world because I run everything I want to do. So I may make the next group wait a little bit. Or I'll have someone warm the next group up for me that's been there for a while. Hey, warm that next group up while I get these guys, girls, vertical jumps. So we'll just jump until they beat it. Sometimes they're beating on the first or second vertical. Boom. Then if they want to keep going, I'll let them keep going. But if they don't want to, it just kind of helps stand out the line so we can just boom, move on to the next thing. So we'll do our vertical jump. After we break our vertical jump, I don't give them 2 or 3 times. I give them up to 4 to 6, whatever it takes. Some of them maybe jumping a little bit longer. I want that number broken. I want that number beaten. I want to show improvement. And the next month they come in, that number that they spent so much time to get, boom, they got to beat it again and again. So if you look at their folders month after month, you got guys going from 24-inch verticals to 36-inch verticals. So we'll go from there. Then we'll go to our broad jump. And then after we do our broad jump that day, then I'll let them go home. And the next day, like on Thursday, we'll come in and we'll squat. If they did not break their 40-yard dash time on Tuesday, they're going to rerun. And then if they've already broken their vertical and their broad jump, they don't have to do those things. I'll retest them on Thursday just to try to clear up what we did not beat or whatever. But if they did broke everything on Tuesday, Thursday they're coming in for a full squat and training like normal, unless they play like a sport like baseball or softball to where I want their throwing speed, or lacrosse to where I'll test their throwing speed. That way I'm trying to show that we are, just by getting stronger and by strengthening the muscle with the right sets and reps and having the correct neural drive, is that we can throw the ball further, faster. I don't go by distance. I got a radar, I set that up. The lacrosse girls are throwing the ball harder. You know, it's kind of like if someone wants to kick a soccer ball, you got a net, let's get throwing ball. I was doing snappers. I had one snapper go from 33, long snapper, that is, a long snapper go from 33 miles per hour to 36 miles an hour, and it's 0.65 or 0.58 or 0.70. That's archaic timing. So if you know a coach that still times, they need to be timing with the hand pocket thing to show that this snapper is actually faster, because then if one snapper is snapping a 0.65, another snapper is a 0.60, it could be the error of the coach. Miles per hour does not lie. So Thursday may be gathered up to maybe test throwing speeds for my softball girls, my baseball players, my lacrosse girls. But besides that, so on Thursday they'll come in, they'll still squat, jump, but instead of doing accessories, they may test something sport specific oriented like that, just to show that, hey, oh, geez, what we are doing is working. And if you get enough people over time testing, and hey, look, if you got a parent come in, hey, this person improved, this person, I got books and folders after folder after folder showing that, hey, one girl went from throwing 56 miles an hour to 66 miles an hour. And then you don't have to sell them with the fake speed garbage with the speed ladders and, hey, speed cone drills. Hey, look, let's do this fancy throwing exercise. You know, like people want to see fancy. You know what? I told Louis years ago, people don't care about results, and sometimes they don't. They want to see that they're doing something fancy drill. Never mind that they went up 10 miles an hour on throwing speed. Where's the fancy drill at? Look, they got to get that out of their head. And if I think for you out there that you have a gym or you want to own a gym one day, you got to show results. Results. Just pounding in the head. Hey, look, this kid went from running a 5.5 to a 5.5. This kid, and if you can show enough of different people improve, you don't have to worry about all the fancy garbage. So that's why people come to me. People come to me. We don't do a lot of speed drills, but I test 40s. They go to a facility that runs speed drills, that works on this, works on that, but they don't believe in lifting weight or getting stronger, but they never test them. The kids feel better, but they don't know if they're better. And when they come back to me, they may run the same speed they did a year or two ago, or they may actually be slower. But over time, just keep working and keep grinding, keep proving that what you're doing is helping make them better on paper, not on their feelings. Feelings don't matter. So, Brian, hopefully, if you have some more information or want to know anything else about our test week, let me know. But our benches stay the same. I just mainly test the speed. I'm trying to show that we're lifting weights all the time and that we're getting faster. I'm trying to show that we're lifting weights all the time, we're jumping higher. I'm trying to show that we're lifting weights and that we throw faster. I'm trying to show that we can hit harder. But our bench days through test week are set up the same way, normal. So normal bench. The only thing difference is that Tuesday everybody has a test. Then Thursday retest if it's not good results Tuesday, and then that Sunday we're back to grinding and squatting and getting ready for another month at the end of another month so that we can get another positive result. So Brian, thank you for the question. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Remember, get to that YouTube, click on that, look for those tricep exercises, look for the different exercises, and maybe some whiteboard demonstrations of what we do could be coming. Just depends on how that YouTube grows, you know. I hate doing stuff and it just kind of like no one cares. I feel like no one cares, no one's clicking, no one's watching. So why do something if no one cares? So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.